Hello everybody, Brandon Jones here from GameTrailers.com. I'm joined by Kyle Bossman.
I love trailers.
And Daniel Bloodworth.
Wow, Kyle's a little under the weather or something?
Oh god.
Kyle is speechless. Just watched for the first time the new cinematic launch trailer for Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Blood has not only seen the trailer a couple times, he's lived this trailer because he reviewed the game for us, has put over 100 hours into this game. I have yet to play this game, but I also like trailers, Kyle, and I love this trailer. Can't wait to talk about it. Let's get into it. So Kyle, your speechlessness, was that because you dug this trailer as well, or are you just very sleepy this morning?
I said the words, I love trailers.
Well, you love trailers, but what about this trailer? First of all,
we have to really
good review scores.
Okay.
I mean, it's just really nice that CD Projekt Red, put a lot of really well-known, famous, established, trustworthy companies to brand their game with excellent scores.
That is the weird part for me for this, because I was up at 4 in the morning talking to them at the final minutes of them putting that into the trailer. But anyways.
Yeah, you can't, don't take our scores seriously, because they're clearly biased. Actually, I do think it's interesting. It's worth mentioning. Hey, we have a CG trailer as it's. What do they call the prestige trailers? The reviews trailer. You know what I mean?
Accolades trailers.
It's
what
accolades.
we call them.
Yeah, it's accolades trailers CG. That's really weird, right?
Well, I don't know that because accolades trailers are usually just like back to back to back to back a bunch of crap.
Yeah, and I think a lot of accolades trailers are usually quote driven. So and you will often see that stuff throughout the trailer. So, like, this was just put right at the beginning. So it's nice. So, like, when you get into, this awesome sequence that we see, you're not interrupted by these moments where they're like, hey, IGN said this part's great. It's just kind of like, right off the bat, just to let you know, here's what people are saying about it. Now watch this and get a taste of what the game is like. So, I thought those were just scores added to a launch trailer. Not often we get a cinematic trailer, let alone a cinematic trailer of this caliber for the launch of a game.
Yeah, and especially because this is not a scene. This actual scene is not anywhere in the game. Like, you don't see this when you boot up the game or anything like that. Like, this is entirely just a trailer.
And we've had some pretty dynamite CG trailers for The Witcher. We had a really cool, I don't know if it was the debut trailer, but one of the first trailers we got, where I believe it was called Killing Monsters, where at the end, she asked him what he did in Killing Monsters.
Oh man, I want to say something about that, but I won't.
And then there's the CG trailer that is the game intro, I believe. When you booted up the stream yesterday, that's what was playing. So I think that's when you. Or maybe when you start the story, that kicks it off.
Oh yes, the one with trailing Yennefer. Yep.
Yeah,
that's absolutely in there.
So so let's get into this trailer. This trailer is incredible. There are so many things I love about this. I mean, I guess maybe we should start it off, Blood, by explaining why we didn't score this yesterday, because you were very busy, and we definitely wanted to include you in this conversation, because everything that you're seeing Geralt do in this sequence is practical and is used in the game. And is used very intelligently to fight this monster. And isn't all of the tricks that are up Geralt's sleeve, but are abilities specifically tailored towards fighting this type of monster. So, would you like to elaborate on that, Mr. Blood?
I should have gone ahead and done a scene-by-scene thing first. But one of the things that you see is the bomb that he throws that kind of shimmers afterwards, because she was invisible. And that bomb's called moon dust, and you use that against wraiths and other things that. You not only you can't see, but you can't hit them while they're, in kind of like a ghostly form. This is, I'm pretty sure this is like a bruxa or bruja, I'm not sure exactly how they say it. She's got some frost on her at one point, which is just like it's one of your blade effects that you can put on from certain swords will be able to do that. He uses the crossbow, he uses a potion called Black Blood, which is specifically for vampires. And
I think they do a good job of... It's interesting, they do a good job of showing you that. They have the drop of blood that you see blackened, and yet you kind of forget that. It is kind of a shocking moment when he gets bit, like, whoa, is this some weird tease of how it ends or something? Like, is this the end of Geralt's journey? And no, he knew that was going to happen. I mean, obviously, you don't want to get bit. He wasn't planning on it, but just in case it does happen.
Right. One thing is kind of interesting. I feel like maybe they edited a bit of this out because it was too far, too extreme. Because you notice that he drops that little hook. Mm-hmm. That hook is what you put the monster's head on. So I'm wondering if there's ever any point where they had a scene where they're gonna chop off her head and put it on the hook, and they're just like, no, it's too much.
Well, I mean, they introduced the implement, and so that's what he would use, to bring her back. But he's just, overcome with this battle, and I think that's something that I I really enjoy, because something that I really get tired of in trailers and even moving past trailers, television and film and everything like that, is the idea of this just like indestructible hero. That you see people that, it's like, it looks like I'm putting zero effort into this fight, and then the fight's over and I'm totally fine. And here, like, he limps away from this fight, like, he's like, I'll just take a nap right here, wakes up, after sunrise. So it's nice to see him, take his licks, and for you to realize that, like, this is a difficult game. You have to think about this. And I think that's one of the things that impresses me so much about this trailer is typically in CG trailers, like League of Legends or a lot of like debut trailers, like it's tough to really get a sense of like what exactly are you selling here?
Oh,
like,
even
what
this little
abilities
ragdoll, those are in the game too. These little voodoo doll type things.
And it's a great setup for her character. We'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
We learn so much about the actual game. This trailer actually tells us a lot, and maybe I can start with the opening of us meeting this woman and completely playing on expectations. We see her and we see her singing. We're kind of immediately endeared to her. She's not dressed like a wraith. And we see, her picking up this doll, and we wonder, like, was there some event that happened here? Maybe her child was killed or something, like, and what is this song that she's singing? And we don't realize until later it's the Witcher song. And so I get a huge kick out of that, normally you would sing songs about monsters, and this is maybe the song the monsters sing about the Witcher, and I love that reversal. And then that's not revealed until the end. As her voice is echoed as we see him going back into town and picking up his reward, and then presumably going on and fighting other beasts. And this is just a day in the life of him. Kyle, you've been very quiet. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, so it's very interesting as a launch trailer. It tells a small story, a small succinct story. It's the kind of trailer Brandon likes, where basically it's entertainment on its own. It feels less of a promotion. Yes, it does show the things that you do in the game, but yeah, I like it for telling a story, a little succinct story, and it's interesting to me just to show a little slice of the life. And I guess it's showing a little slice of gameplay as well. I guess that's really the point of it, what they set down and when they were putting pen to paper, and it was like, what do we do with this trailer? But yeah, I do. You're right, Brandon. The way it starts and ends is beautiful.
What's that little flame move that he does?
Oh, so that's the upgraded Quen sign. So it kind of creates like a bubble shield around you. So it not only will you not take damage, but if an enemy hits that, then you'll regen health while it's active.
Is there? How do you heal in The Witcher? Like how what? Because I find it interesting that like he has this established scar. It's like really a part of his visage. It's like it's almost like Indy's fedora. That he has this like very recognizable scar that goes across his left eye. And it's interesting that he gets like 3 more scars that seem almost more brutal than that one. And I wonder if would he be able to heal that? Is that something, if we really want to get into plot, that like maybe a little strange that like now he has all these new scars? And
he wasn't magic when he got the scar. He's magic now.
No, that's not true.
That's canon.
He's covered.
Good attempt.
He's covered in scars because you can take the shirt off anytime you want, and you see all the scars all over him. There are very few potions that will just like automatically heal you, and I think they have a higher toxicity effect. And that's another thing. If you drink too many potions in a row, like higher level potions, you will actually make yourself toxic, and then you will start draining health, and you're going to have to clear that out. Yeah, there's a very minuscule amount of regen that happens at any time. And then there are different abilities in the ability tree that you can add in there. And then you can also eat food to give you like 10 seconds of regen, or you can drink a potion that will give you a more substantial regen. But it's regen, so it's like you're still low unless you like keep from taking damage for a bit.
Do we feel sorry for this beast, this wraith, this
I think you're meant to a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. That close up on her face at the rate. Whoever directed this, you were good at your job. You like the direction of this trailer is so good.
But there's just there's interesting moments of you kind of like taking her side of the battle, like you see her, you meet her initially. It's really interesting the look on her face when he says, nice song, and she, she like immediately knows who that is.
Yeah.
And is kind of toying with him, where she's just like, wow, I didn't think you'd care about me. I didn't really think that, someone like you would not stoop so low, but would bother, and he's like, hey, I tackle big monsters, I tackle small monsters, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, but that's the thing though too, is that there are many times in the game where Yeah, you choose whether to actually kill that monster or whether to let them go.
And I mean, you really get the close up on her when she realizes she's been poisoned, you know, and the rage that she feels.
Oh yeah.
And then, of course, you know, the juxtaposition of her, you know, the last, you know, thing that the last image that she sees is Geralt on the ground when, you know, she dies and her vision goes away, and then very quickly going back and then seeing her rotted corpse and kind of like reducing her to just a thing, to just this monster. This is an absolutely dynamite trailer. This is I think I went into this with a 9.5, but I'm going to put up to a 9.6. This is absolutely spectacular. And I like a word that you chose, Mr. Bossman, which was small. And I think it was a very interesting choice for a launch, because you know, a lot of people try to throw the kitchen sink at you with a launch trailer and just say like, wow, look at all the things that we have in this game, and how confident is this? Yeah. You know, to just come in and be like, nope, here is one small isolated moment in his life. But even just this one battle that he has, look how complex this is. Like, look how many questions we're raising about who is this woman? What did she do? Who hired him to do this? You know, it's like he didn't just go around the corner into the village. He's going back into the city. So, like, why is someone in the city caring so much about this? And if I have to apply, you know, all of these trades and all of these items and weapons and skills towards this one tiny thing, imagine what you have to do in story missions, you know? And if he puts this much meaning into this, again, this small event and this, you know, small of a target, what does that mean for all of the other things you do in this game? I think more than anything speaks to the complexity of the game, the depth of the game, and the length of the game. It's like no question after watching something like this why this game was 100+ hours.
Right.
Yeah, shoot, I see, Brandon, you know, I've been giving out lots of 9s, and now I see why you save your 9s. Because, you know, right, I give this 9.6, which, I mean, you know, I've been giving other lesser trailers a 9.6, but it's a 9 point, it's a great trailer.
I don't have you on the show to be accurate, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they all scale. Trailers scale, you know what I mean? Like, most games can't afford to make a great CG trailer like this, or... You know, it's hard to rationalize. Why make such a good trailer? But you did it. You made a very good trailer. Gosh, you know what? I love the reveal of the arrow. You know, she's running out. You see an arrow in her back, and then you see the crossbow dropped. You know, things like that. It just,
and you can hear it, but you don't actually see the arrow travel.
Yeah, it's pro. This is a very pro trailer.
Even I like the one little bit I noticed here is the camera tilt. That like the camera's not moving around too much, but like it specifically does like a 45-degree tilt when he flips her, so you kind of feel like you're being flipped too, and you know the world is kind of rotating on its axis. Mr. Blood.
Sure. Yeah, 9.5. Just keeping it simple. I don't know. It's really good. Maybe. At times it almost feels like a little bit too detailed. It does not shy away from any kind of violence, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's a racy trailer, you know?
Yeah.
It's like we don't see... we don't get nipple slips in many trailers. Kyle commented before we started that is a first for not only Let's All Go to the Trailers, but for Trailer Score.
We should have warned him. We should have warned about nipple slips.
Yeah, nipple slip warning. Too late. But again, also, just a subtle comment on the game. This is a mature game. You know, this is a game that has nudity in it. This is a game that has adult themes. This is a game that, you know, will not necessarily shy away. This trailer dares you not to snicker when you see her fully exposed and nude. You know, it's kind of fun that it plays on your attraction to this woman. You know, it wants you to be attracted to her. Like you know, my eyes widened, you know, when she starts unbuttoning her dress, like, whoa, where's this trailer going? You know, and like they definitely play on those expectations. And I think as a whole, this trailer plays on expectations more than anything I've seen this year. And I don't think we've scored a trailer this high other than Persona. I think this is, we are about halfway through the year, and this is definitely one of the best trailers that I've seen. So congratulations, Witcher Wild Hunt. 9.6 is the aggregate score. Thank you, Blood, for coming in and talking about more Witcher. I think we're done, right? No more Witcher trailers. This is it?
Until the DLC.
Until the DLC happens and they release another awesome trailer.
They may very well still do trailers. So we'll see.
The incredible storytelling in The Witcher does not end in the game. It extends to their media as well. And, of course, it is appreciated by me and the staff at GameTrailers.com. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
Thank you, Blood. See you next episode.